What's up, y'all? Baldy here. I just want to go over briefly how I'm incorporating DoggCrapp, aka DC, aka Dante Trudell style training into Jiu-Jitsu. I don't necessarily recommend it for everyone. It's certainly not for beginners. You want to be more of an advanced lifter to run this and really know your body well, but it's been working really well for me, and I thought I'd just kind of say how I've modified the standard style to work with Jiu-Jitsu. So, first off, what is DoggCrapp? It's Dante Trudell's kind of signature style of training. It's a modification of HIT training, not just one eye, which uses rest pauses and weighted stretching. And I'll link to a series by Paul Barnett, who goes into a lot of detail of the standard style. So you should really watch that, honestly, first before you watch the rest of this, so you know the ins and outs of DC training. So there's a few caveats with doing it with Jiu-Jitsu. So some modifications need to be made to make it more joint friendly and to allow you to do both at the same time, because it's a very intense style of training, requires a lot of recovery, and potentially can be a little rough on the joints. So setting up for Jiu-Jitsu when it comes to like body parts is I've been using a push and quads day and then a pull and hammies day. And it's definitely upper body focused, because hate to break to you, don't need like a crazy, super strong legs for Jiu-Jitsu. It's useful, obviously, but you'll get more out of just having a strong upper body, in my opinion. And then you're still stretching after every single exercise. Instead of stretching at the end, like some people do with DoggCrapp training, stretching after every exercise, partially to weaken you and self-limit you to some extent, but it just seems to work better. Starting with 2 days a week only, and that doesn't sound like much, but for a lot of people, if you're not a huge guy already and you're trying to put some weight on, that's probably enough if you're doing a lot of jiu-jitsu. The point's not to be like a massive bodybuilder, so put a little size on. And probably max 3 days a week of this style of training, which is what I'm doing currently. So every day, you want to start with a compound exercise. And you're gonna have an A day and a B day, like I said. You'll have 3 of each. You have A1, 2, 3, B1, 2, 3. Alternating back and forth between the two. For the A1 and B1 days, the way I've set it up to be more joint friendly is that day the majority of the movements, or all of them, are free weights. So let's say you're doing dips, reverse flies with dumbbells, etc. For the A2 and B2 days, I try to have about half of the movements be free weights and the other half being machines. And for the A3 and B3 days, having the majority or all of the movements be machines. And like I said, it's just to keep the joints friendly, or joints happy, to be joint friendly. And for each muscle group, you want to choose your 3 favorite or preferably most effective exercises for each muscle group. So for chest, for example, let's say it's dumbbell flies, cable flies, machine bench, right? Those are your 3 favorites. You're going to separate those one into each day. So for A1, you might have the dumbbell flies. A2, you might have the machine bench. That'd be bad. Let's say cable flies, and then A3 having the machine bench. Because you're only working each muscle group once per session, essentially, other than the compound, which is a little here nor there. And for your rep ranges, it kind of depends on the exercise. You generally want them on the high end, so for a lot of movements, 12 to 15, some movements 15 to 20. For reverse flies right now, I'm doing like sets of 30. And for each exercise, you want to use a slow eccentric. You want to really overload that. Probably pausing in the bottom and top, getting a big stretch in all of the exercises, and using full range of motion. So like no pin presses, no like little like cutesy shit, right? Full range of motion for all of them. And then every movement you're doing a cluster set with, like I said earlier. So you'll see we're doing dips. You want to hit 12 to 15 reps. You do your set of, let's say 13. You're gonna take about 10 deep breaths. You're gonna do your second set. Within the first set, it's a cluster set. And so you eke out 4 more. You're gonna take 10 deep breaths, and you do a third cluster set. So you get 3 more reps. Then you're gonna rest about 30 seconds, and you're gonna stretch that muscle for 30 seconds. And in the normal DC training, he recommends working up to, for some stretches, 2 minutes. If you're doing a jiu-jitsu, you want to cap that at 30 seconds. It's enough to get some stimulus, but not enough where it's going to wear your joints down like a shit ton. Because you're probably getting stretched a lot if you're doing jiu-jitsu regularly. You should hopefully be somewhat mobile already. And the progression is pretty simple. If you're on the low end of that rep range, so again, dips, we want 12 to 15, and I only get 12, the following week I probably want to add reps. So try to get 13 or 14 reps. For if you're on the higher end of that weight, let's say at 15 exactly, I want to add weight the following week. So I'll just add maybe 5 pounds. And that might be, probably drop me down a few reps, good to go. And if you can no longer add weight or reps, then you change the movement. So I can't eke out a single more rep on dips, and I am on the low end, so I can't add weight. Switch it up. Maybe do like a machine, like a dip machine or whatever. And then you want to go about 3 to 4 weeks hard on this. So every set you're going to take to technical failure. So you're going to do the movement. So you're doing dips, you're going boom, boom, boom. Can't possibly do one more. That's when you start. You take your 10 breaths, do the same thing, another set to failure, 10 deep breaths, another set to failure. So 3 weeks training like that, just going hard. And then about a 1 week deload. And I've been hitting about 70 to 80%, depends on the exercise a little bit, but usually in that percentage range of what I was just using the previous week, and only doing 1 set, no cluster sets, with leaving like 2 to 3 reps in reserve. Not super complicated. So a sample session, we'll just kind of go through it. We'll make this your A1. Starting with dips. So I kind of mentioned earlier, I think, there should be warm-up sets. A lot of people get wrong with like HIIT training is they just go like, oh, I just like put 405 in the bar and fucking go nuts. You should be doing warm-up sets. So there's more volume than it sounds. So for dip, let's say we're gonna do 20 reps with body weight. I add a 45, I do 13, 14 reps. Add a 25, do 10, 11 reps. And then I want to start my actual set with 245, so like 90 pounds. Again, go to absolute failure. I shouldn't say absolute technical failure. No cheating reps, no like hiking shit up, getting ugly. I want to keep things clean. It's hard enough in your joints already. So I get 13 reps, 10 deep breaths. Again, reiterate this a lot of times. Do another set. I get 4, 10 deep breaths, do another set, get 3, rest 30 seconds, stretch that muscle group. Find stretches that you're able to control. They don't need to be super heavy. Like the way to stretch is like, you don't need to be stretching your tricep with like a 95-pound dumbbell. You'd probably be fine with like a 55-pound at most. Doesn't be super crazy heavy. It should be heavy enough where it's like uncomfortable, but not painful. I want some shakes. And again, just holding that stretch for about 30 seconds, trying to go over that too much. So after dips, I'm gonna go to French press. Let's say I start with 45, the empty barbell, I'll do 20 reps, do 95 for 15, 135 for 15, I throw in like 165, do my cluster set, stretch the triceps. Dumbbell flies, same thing, set of 20, our goal is 15 to 20, so, do 2 or 3 warm-ups. Then we'll go to dumbbell lateral raise in the shoulders. And like for certain movements, like here I probably need 1 warm-up set. Like you're only gonna dumbbell lateral raise so much weight if you're doing them strict actually. So you might just do like 1 warm-up set. For other movements like a dip, you're trying to go pretty heavy, you should do more warm-ups. So be smart, don't be a fucking idiot. And we'll finish off with some quads, just hit some sissy squats. And it's not necessarily a workout I've ever done, but that's how I like to set it up. You don't have to do the legs last, you can kind of throw them in where you want. That's where I'd probably put them, honestly. And then one last thing, really, for this kind of training, you need to be in a caloric surplus. You don't want to be trying to cut while doing this kind of training. You're for sure just going to get hurt. So just be smart. That pretty much covers everything. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. Watch the Paul Barnett series. He goes into a lot of detail. It's like, I think he makes like 11, 12 videos explaining it in detail. So just like take the modifications I mentioned, implement them if you want. Anything else? That's it. Thanks, guys.